Welcome along, everybody, to the Gran Turismo Manufacturers Series exhibition. Of course, yesterday, of the last 2 days, in fact, we have been holding the FIA Gran Turismo Asia Oceania Regional Finals for the Nations Cup. And today we're going to have a bit of a battle royale between some of the manufacturers you see in the game. It's going to be a brilliant day, that's for sure. We got a lot of special guests here racing, 6 teams in total. We're going to meet the drivers in just a short while, but bringing you the stream as ever, it's myself, Chris McCarthy, and Jimmy Broadbent, live from Tokyo in Japan, here in the Toyota Mega Web Studios.
We are, and again, Chris, a big crowd here, which has been shuffled in from the outside, I'm sure, all to cheer on their favourite manufacturer. We'll get into the series and the format in a little bit. The MC right now just introducing the format to the audience, and it's an interesting one, this one, Chris. We've got a lot of big names here in Japanese motorsport and in Japanese automotive, in the Japanese automotive world.
Yes, so essentially we have 6 teams being, 6 manufacturers being represented. So we have Subaru, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Mazda, and Mitsubishi. Now, each team will have a former or current professional racing driver. They will have the top-ranked Gran Turismo player from Japan of the respected manufacturers, and then we will have, as Jimmy said, someone from the automotive industry. Now, they are out practicing earlier, and fair to say, a mixture of talents. So this 15-lap race around Suzuka could get broken up, but it's going to be a little bit of fun.
Of course, that's what happens when you have what is a professional racing driver, a pretty much professional Gran Turismo sport driver, and then someone who just works at the company. You have a mix of talent there. We saw some guy go spearing off at T1 with a big smile on his face. So at least he was having fun. Not sure if his teammates will share that enthusiasm though.
And he was taking out a Formula 2 driver in the process, who we will reveal very shortly. Right, here comes the Japanese commentary team.
Yeah, back again, of course. Our man Keiki Tsuchiya leading the guys out. Good to see him here again. Still haven't said hello to him, Chris, yet. I think every time he's going to come up, I'm going to say that and just say that I haven't quite had the guts to go say hello yet. But just introducing the Japanese guys to the crowd. We have a different commentator on the end there. Our sunglasses friend has gone home, I think, which is a shame because he was definitely a staple of the commentary down there and of our viewing. He was just talking about how it seems with the competition we've had so far, there's been a little bit of tension in the air. It's been a little bit some nerves from the drivers, but now it's just purely for fun. Of course, a bit of inter-rivalry battles there between the manufacturers, but otherwise, I'd say a bit of harmless fun. I'm sure whoever wins will be bragging about it for quite a while, though, won't they?
So just to let you know the format, it's going to be a 15-lap race. They're going to have to use the soft, medium and hard tyre. So all 3 drivers will do 1 stint. They have to do a minimum of 3 laps. They've had to choose whether to do manual or automatic. So I imagine most of them are going to go for the manual option and are just going to make the guys from the automotive industry put up with it. It's going to be 8 times tyre wear, which is going to be very interesting to see how the guys deal with that as the race goes on. It's going to be around Suzuka circuit in, of course, Group 3 cars.
That's an interesting thing you mentioned there about having different levels of assist for the drivers. Of course, you do have option to change things like traction control on the wheel to make things a little bit easier for you. I'm sure some of the GT sport drivers, the guys who can actually drive this game, will have that turned off, I'm sure. But the guys who maybe spend most of their day in an office or looking at some sort of drawing board will probably have everything turned up to max to try and get round in one piece. But I'm still fairly sure that it won't be enough.
Now, just to try and make things as close as possible, the order is going to have to be the same for each team. So it's going to go pro driver, employee, and then Gran Turismo player at the end. So the start of the race is going to be pretty close, I reckon. But then we're going to put the employees in, and I guess it's just a real roll of the dice of who's going to actually come out in the lead, and then the Gran Turismo players will be left to settle it out between them at the end. And we have a grid already. We're not going to have a qualifying session because I think we decided the grid in a little bit of a different way. But we'll talk through that in just a second, as I believe we're going to get the players onto the stage now. Right, so first we are going to welcome onto the stage the Subaru team. First onto the stage is Hiroshi Mori. He is the member of board and development general manager from Subaru. Then we have the professional driver Toshi Arai, former Japanese rally championship driver and a Subaru legend. And then the top Subaru ranked driver Gran Turismo Takuma Miyazono. And he was at Salzburg, of course.
He was indeed. Next up we have Team Toyota, very popular at the home crowd here, as you'd imagine. Kazuya Tada is the Gazoo Racing chief engineer and father of the 86 and the new Supra, so a very popular man around here right now. Here is our race driver, Wakisaka, Juichi Wakisaka. You might know him if you followed Super GT, ex-GT500 driver, and also driven at the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Of course, there's lots of GT4 sponsorship over there. And here is Tomoki Yamanaka. We can't get rid of this guy. He's around as well. He's our pro GT driver and, of course, the best version driver in the manufacturer series for this region.
And was second yesterday in the Nations Cup. Going to be going to the World Finals as a result. Here we go to Honda Motorsport General Manager Masashi Yamanato. In fact, I think, have we gone straight to Nissan? We have, yes. So Yusuke Fukunaga, the Japan Marketing Headquarters Brand and Media Strategy Division. And now we have Masakata Yanagida from the Nismo Ambassador, ex-GT500 driver. And then Ryoto Kokubun, Nations Cup champion for the Asia Oceania region. I think now we go to Honda.
Yeah, so now we have Honda coming up. Honda in the Toro Rosso-esque coat there. That was on stage the Motorsport General Manager, Masahashi Yamamoto. Here is your driver, F2 racing driver, someone you know, Chris, Tatsuki Makino. He's up on stage as well. And now the GT driver is Sugimori.
Mazda now coming on to the stage. So from product strategy, the product business planning division, well, they've got long titles, assistant manager Yuki Itakagi. Well, we're gonna struggle with some of these names, but I really do apologise. Now we go to our pro driver, Tadayuki Kato, former Nürburgring 24-hour driver. And now we come to the top driver from Mazda, Shuitaro Ryu. He's actually 17 years old. He would have been eligible to do the Nations Cup if he were 18, but 17 years old. But good to have him here.
Rules are rules, and last, but certainly not least, we have Team Mitsubishi. First up is Nobuo Momose, and he is the EV Powertrain Technical Development. That is a very long title, a very impressive title, and he's one of the guys we saw spearing off earlier in practice, so I'm sure he's going to have a good time here. Followed up by another rally legend. This time it's Fumio Utahara, drive, of course, the Mitsubishi Lancer back in the day. And then Shogo Yoshida, you would know him if you had seen yesterday's stream, aka Gilles Honda V12.
He was 4th place yesterday.
So I should Gilles then. I went all native. Gilles Honda V12. Please forgive me, stream chat.
I think there's going to have to be a lot of apologies, so we'll just say please forgive us for the entire stream. And certainly some fans in the audience of all the drivers we now have on stage. Real mixture of talents, quite literally.
A word with Toshi Arai, someone that I followed back in the 2000s, back in the days of WRC. remember seeing him wrestle a Impreza around various stages. Saw a lot of him kicking the side of the car as well, but we won't go over that too much. Great to see him here today. Yep. Now they've sent the poor stagehand all the way down to the end to speak to the Toyota driver. A little bit cruel there. That is Wakisaka, of course. Extremely famous Super GT driver. I think he knows Mr. Tsuchiya fairly well as well. I've seen them together in various projects, so great to see him on stage.
Yes, it is indeed. And the crowd just heard from him at the moment. And will be, he's just looking at, actually just referring to Yamanaka at the moment and saying how impressed he was with him in the Nations Cup yesterday to finish second place in the Asia Oceania region final. He's going to be one to watch at the World Final in November, that's for sure. And he just talking a lot about the talent within the field there. And particularly from Yamanaka, and who had a big embrace from the Italian commentary team.
I think everyone had a big embrace from the Italian commentary, whether you liked it or not. Again, our stagehand forced back up the other end of the stage now to speak to our Nismo representative, Honda, of course. Just having a talk about practicing, and he's saying that the car feels like a real car, but because they have a champion on our team, of course, Kukubun there, they think they're feeling fairly confident. Of course, we'll say that. Wait until the employee gets into the car; they won't be feeling confident anymore after that.
Yeah, exactly. Confidence will be shot, I think.
I'm very much enjoying the trash talking between the teams at the moment. I saw Wakisaka and Tsuchiya just have it out just now. It's just great seeing the rivalry. It's friendly rivalry, though, of course, isn't it?
It is.
There's no malice to it. It's just a bit of fun for these guys at the end of the day.
We're going to be able to hear from the drivers during the race, by the way, which is going to be something a little bit different. We're going to have mics on the drivers as the race goes on. Now Mitsubishi, Mr. Nutihara, Japan Rally legend.
It seems at the moment they're all just talking up their GT Sport drivers. Do you know what that says to me? That says, you are going to carry the team. Please don't let us down.
He just gave a pat on the back to Shogo Yoshida and just said, yeah, we got this guy on our team. We're going to be fine. Now we go to Tadasuke Makino, and of course FIAF2 driver, 21 years old, won a race this season. And he's been, of course, practicing earlier, and he said he's had a strategy meeting already with his team about this, and he is feeling he was a little bit nervous, but he's really excited to get going in this one. Looking forward to seeing how he goes, actually, Tadasuke Makino.
It sounds like Honda are turning the screws a bit, aren't they? They're saying, you know what, get it done, or you're not coming back. So the guys.
Oh, we got. Now is that, are they waving us? No, they weren't.
No, they don't like us up here. But now the guys getting on their rigs, just about to get things started. As we said, it is the pro driver who is going to be driving first. So we have our real life drivers getting all suited and booted, or unbooted in the case of, I think that was Wakisaka there, taking his shoes off to get onto the rig. So he's going for that strategy there. I'm just going to go over the rules a little bit. And again, just to reaffirm that the driving order is the pro driver, then the employee, and then our GT player.
Yep, so we're going to get into the racing very shortly. We just need to get drivers into the lobby and let them set up their assists. For the pro drivers, I imagine that could be a bit different. Now the grid is going to be Honda that are going to be on pole position as they won rock, paper, scissors. Second place will be Subaru. Third place will be Nissan. Fourth place Mitsubishi. Fifth place Toyota, and sixth place Mazda. So pole position is going to be Tadasuke Makino. Second place Toshi Arai. Third place Masakata Yanagida. Fourth place will be Fumio Nutihara. Fifth place will then be Wakisaka, and then sixth place will be Kato.
Now, I must confess that I've not seen qualifying for a race ever settled by rock, paper, scissors before, especially a six-way rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
I don't really know how that works.
It did take some time. It was an elimination process for anyone that's wondering. So we literally did have 6 people doing rock, paper, scissors at the same time.
You wondered if you can get Battle Royale into Gran Turismo. There it is right now. Rock, paper, scissors. Right, the guy's just getting a bit of practice in now, as we're hearing from Tsuchiya on the stage, by the way.
You can't see this, but one's off already. I'm just trying to figure out who that is, actually.
That is the Nissan driver, so that'll be Yanagida, ex-GT 500 driver. That's not a good start there from him as he goes flying off there onto the gravel. You can't see right now. We'll get some pictures on that in a second. Now, the drivers are all allowed to be on stage at once, so every team has their teammates around them, which can prove to be a little bit scary, especially if you aren't doing too well and you can hear the audible sighing of the person behind you as you go spearing off into the gravel trap for the 4th time on that lap. Here is our circuit, Suzuka, of course. We've been here a couple of times this weekend. Doesn't really need an introduction. A very challenging circuit, especially if you may be new to GT Sport or just driving in general. Of course, a lot of these guys down there seasoned race car drivers, but maybe not so much in the simulator, especially as a lot of these guys have come from, about 10 years ago was their sort of peak in their career. This kind of stuff is fairly new. It's great to see them embrace it, but unfortunately the younger guys, I think, have a little bit of an advantage.
Turn 1's going to be an interesting one for sure. Let's talk about some of the drivers then. So Tadasuke and Makino, as you see, confirmation of the race rules. So Suzuka, they've got to use the hard, medium and soft tyre, 15 laps, 12 times tyre wear. I was going to start talking about some of the drivers. However, Jimmy, I'm going to put another question to you. Who goes on what tyre?
Oh yes, okay, yes, because we are having the every tyre needs to be used.
Do we put the GT player on the soft, but then they won't be able to be in the car as long? So do they go on the hard tyre?
It's tricky. I think what you would probably end up doing is you'd put the pro driver on the soft tyre and hope that he's good. And then you put the employee on the medium tyre and bring him in quickly because the drivers have to have a 3-lap minimum stint each, so he'll do 3 laps. The employer will do 3 laps, and then the GT drivers, the guys of course know this like the back of their hand, whack on the hard tyre and do as long a stint as possible to try and maybe gain back some time. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of teams have 3 laps, and then the rest of the laps for the other driver, but of course that might be a bit difficult on those hard tyres.
I mean, one thing I will say is this may be for a little bit of fun, and we've got the Toyota Motor Fes, by the way, happening around us this weekend, which me and Jimmy have actually been around to look at. It's been great to be a part of it. That's what's been drawing in the big crowds, and they want to win this, all the players on stage, because there is a big crowd here gathered round, and they don't want to have a bad run in front of that crowd and in front of you guys on the street. Right, over to Jimmy to talk us through the grid once again as we get ready to go racing here at Suzuka.
Bit of a smaller grid than we're used to, of course. Honda starting on the front row in the Honda NSX, and it's the Subaru WRX Impreza in second. In third, Team Nissan with the Turbo Brick GTR GT3. In fourth position, it's Mitsubishi, the Lancer Evo. Great looking car in the GT3 form. Then it's Toyota Supra Racing Concept. Of course, far above the Supra here today, so great to have that car featured. And then it is the Mazda Atenza starting 6th and last. Chris, this is going to be a very interesting race to watch.
Yep, Tadasuke Makino in the Honda is going to be leading Toshi Arai down towards the first corner at Suzuka. When did we think we'd hear that sentence said? Here we go then, 15 laps of racing. Who's your money on as we get ready to go racing here at Tokyo in Japan? 3, 2, 1, green lights, we're off away and racing down towards the first corner. Let's hope they all get through nice and safely then. We're already 3 wide for 4th place in the background there. I think that was the Mazda trying to come through from the back of the grid, and I think Makino has run wide. Toshiero trying to
it's happened straight away. There goes the Toyota. Absolutely punted off into the background there. That was Wacky Saka. He won't be happy with that. There'll be a big smile on Tsuchiya's face because those guys were rivals back in the days of Super GT, but not a great start from Team Toyota there. Subaru and Nissan, though, close together. And while these guys are fighting, that allows Honda and, of course, Tatsuki Makino to get away. I think he's the best bet here for the pro drivers in terms of being familiar with sims. He's starting to get a bit of a gap there. Subaru, Nissan, Mazda behind. Then a little bit of a gap to Mitsubishi and Toyota trying to... there goes off the first Egner. That is is the Subaru off.
Subaru,
removed.
See you later. And Toshi Arai, they're getting a huge round of applause, which is...
Oh, and in the background, the Mitsubishi does this. Both the rally drivers have gone for the gravel straight away. Guys, this is a tarmac race.
Well, it's good to see them seeing the funny side of it, but Toshi Arai was having the time of his life as he went into the gravel there. Well, he is used to racing in rallies, of course, so it's perhaps a little bit confusing for him, but the Nissan just ahead of us now. Tell you what, Team Mazda have had a good start here. Terasuki Kato is up into third place at the moment. I'm not too sure if he was the man that punted the Mitsubishi off at turn one, but if he wasn't, then he's had a very good start to the race. Could be looking at second by the end of lap one.
I just heard some tyre squeaking in the background. I think it might have been the Subaru, I'm not sure. Yes, Subaru have now dropped down, and Toshi Arai looking a little bit guilty down there at the moment. I think he's the rally straps aren't really working too well for him. Meanwhile, battle for second place. We have the Nissan defending from Mazda, who's gone over the chicane. Oh, that reminds me of a certain Dutch driver there. Luckily didn't collect the guy on the way back in, like a certain Dutch driver. Yeah. Luckily for the Mazda and for Toyota, they get through in one piece, and by the time we get to the end of lap one, the field spread out quite a bit there, Chris.
I'm not surprised that the Casio triangle caught someone out at turn one. Someone trying to be too brave on the brake. Oh, here we go! A move for second place there. The Toyota going into second past the Mazda, and absolutely no change of expression on either face.
Brutal. Wacky Saka went past. There you go. Now he acknowledges it. And the Mazda driver right back on the rear of Wacky Saka there. Great to see the Supra out here in the Group 3 form. Of course, we've seen a version of it, or the concept, over in the Toyota MegaWeb building just to the right of us here from where we are on stage. But here it is racing around, and of course putting on a good show for us right now. These guys fighting, having a little bit of a balmy, means that we have a Nissan coming back into play, who gets a wheel on the grass, I think, or has the brake bar set a little bit too far back. Looks like they're reeling in the Honda team at the moment. Yeah, they are. Well, we'll monitor that gap, but certainly the Nissan is coming into play here. Yanagida tries to move down the inside there at the hairpin, and well, the Toyota's dropped back to fourth place. The Nissan has gone up to third. Mazda is second, and they're going to be side by side up their way to Spoon Curve. Nissan briefly into second, should have the inside, and let's hope he completes that move better than a German tried a couple of days ago. Oh, he does it! Here comes the Toyota into the back of the Mazda, then goes into the back of the Nissan. And that received a round of applause from the employees. So. Yeah, those guys are loving it down there. I think that's how it should be. Of course, poor Turbo Brick gets relegated down to fourth position, and now down to fifth. Toshi Arai, I think, has found out that he needs to be driving on the tarmac, and then he's giving it all that there. He's giving a little bit of a handshake. Yeah, he's dancing. Here comes the Mazda again. Contact. These guys, I'm glad the stewards are not here today. They were having a little bit of a difficult race. Oh, Maki Saka's got a little bit wide there, and the Mazda trying to get through. Kato is going to try and get the run down the straight on Waki Saka. Meanwhile, Tadasuke Makino still pulling away, and now has a 3.3 second lead. I can see Toyota flags waving in the crowd every time that anything happens on screen. I think that will disappear very quickly when we see the employee get into the car, but we'll wait for that. Through Team 1, it's still Honda, Toyota, Mazda. Nissan actually goes up into fourth position there, using the straight line speed of that thing down the straights to pull past people, I think. Subaru fifth and Mitsubishi in sixth. Our rally drivers are really not having a good time out there, are they? Well, no, Mitsubishi are going to have a very lonely race down the back of the field. It's really broken up, really, as we expected, but good to see that we have a good battle going on for second place here. Don't forget, this race is really not going to be over until after the second stint, I'd say. I know that sounds something like we should be saying, but it's the employees where the race is really going to take a turn, I think. Just to quickly answer a couple of questions in chat. There are... Oh, hello, I'll get back to that in a second. The Mazda has a great run out of a second Degner, and again a little bit of contact between the two guys, and a little friendly nudge, he says, tries to move him out the way. Not going to quite make that work, are you, Waki Saka? No, he doesn't. In the background, there's the Nissan, and here comes the Subaru and Mitsubishi. They remember there's a race on, and they want to get involved. Well, let's answer those questions while we have a very brief moment then, shall we? I was going to say just about penalties. Penalties are not on for this race because it's a fun exhibition race. Of course, these guys, there's nothing on offer here for the prize. They have been asked to try and drive nicely. I think they may have chosen to have selective hearing for that moment. Yeah. But luckily for us, the racing is good, so there's not really much to complain about, I don't think. More importantly, the Subaru and Mitsubishi are coming back into the play. Toshi Arai at the helm of the Subaru in 5th position. We have 2nd, 3rd and 4th on your screen coming through 130R, breaking into the Casio triangle, and for the first time I think we've not seen any contact into there this race.
Let's take a look at lap times then. Yeah, Toshi Arai actually setting some pretty decent laps. I think he's actually the quickest. Is he one of the quickest on track there? Let's have a look. Yes, he is. So Toshi Arai down the back of the field, actually one of the quickest on track, and is now into the pits. So Subaru made the first stop as Toyota try and go to second place. Oh, and Mazda's gone round. Manages to save it, but Team Mazda have dropped to 4th place there. Wakisaka has been involved in pretty much every incident that's gone on so far.
Yes, I think he's really letting people, making his mark, I would say, here as the Toyota driver. There's a big... hello.
More contact, Wakisaka again! Oh, and he's getting a taste of his own medicine now as Nissan go into 2nd place.
That Nissan is a big car. You cannot move it out of the way. It will move you out of the way. And look at our pro driver. They're having a great time at the moment. I don't think he realises how he's got into 2nd place. And here comes Wakisaka back again. And now they're going to steamroll Nissan. They both go through. And there goes the smile from his face. Wakisaka there in 2nd place. Our Mazda driver, Teruki Kato there, goes wide, very wide. He's usually a Mazda tuning specialist, mainly the MX-5. Not so much the intense contact between the two as they come up towards this boom curve. You know, I said to you, Chris, at the start of this race, 6 cars on the track. Oh, there goes the Nissan. There goes the Nissan. It's round. It's round, and I think just about recovered, but that puts a little bit of a breather on that. I was going to say, Chris, I thought at the start of this race with 6 cars you weren't going to get much action. I think I should probably give up this future-telling business. Whilst all that was going on, and don't really blame us for missing it, our Subaru team did make their first pit stop, and we do now have the employee in the car.
Interestingly, they were the only team on the hard tyre as well, so they've gone for what you suggested would have potentially been a strategy. No, in fact, you went the other way, so they're going backwards in strategy almost, and they're going to go soft at the end. Oh, and I tell you what, Tadasuke Makino there getting a little bit squirrely, and
you see they're just wondering where did the camera see? Yeah, everyone watching at home saw that. And there you go, Wakisaka out of the car, giving away to the crowd.
Well done. And I'll tell you what, both in. So we got Mitsubishi in, Nissan in, Toyota in. So that's 4 teams now out of 6.
And that is a very scared-looking Nissan employee there.
Oh, here come the employees.
Oh, here it goes, guys. This is the bit you've been waiting for.
Well, it's a bit in the background for Mitsubishi. The one looking scared there is Shogo Yoshida. Oh, there we go.
There's our employee straight out the pits.
Soft tyres on for Nissan with the employee in.
I think that's a good way to lose some soft tyres. You can see there, I think that was Yamanaka. No, sorry, I think that was it Yamanaka? I think it was, trying to give some advice. Like, please go on the black stuff is what you're saying. Don't go onto the gravel.
In one ear and out the other, basically.
And again, that employee looks absolutely terrified. I wouldn't be surprised. There's a big crowd here today, so everyone's going to see the mistake if you do make it.
Now he is getting very, very. Oh no! Well, the advice wasn't taken.
Yanagida there.
If it was going to the gravel, he's taken the advice very well. Because straight off. Oh, what's going on here?
Oh, this is for the lead. Here comes the Mazda.
Tadasuke Makino must have gone off somewhere, and the Mazda has now taken the lead. Makino was once in the lead by over 3 seconds. He's now going to have to surely bail into the pits because he must have just worn those tyres out. But the Mazda team, to remind you, started dead last.
Now, I wonder if we're going to see the Mazda guys come in now. He's getting a little bit anxious in his seat, which suggests that he might be coming out soon.
The employee's got his gloves on. They're ready to go. Now, we might. I think we should use some names at some point, but yes, that is.
Sorry, we should. So just to confirm now, in the car for Subaru, we have Hiroshi Mori, who is a member of the board and general manager in the car.
There we go.
Toyota on screen as well, just to get you an idea. That is Tetsuya Tada. He's actually the father, as it says here, of the 8.6 and the Supra, which goes flying off in the background. We mentioned it.
That was Toshi Arai's fault, was it? In the Subaru there, he's laughing at something. He must have told him where to brake. Oh no!
Getting a little bit of outside of distance there, the Toyota team.
What's going on?
Okay, right.
Honda
have changed around. We now have the Motorsport General Manager, Masashi Yamamoto, in the car.
Yes, Yamamoto is in.
He looks fairly cool. Apparently, he's actually just come from Suzuka for the Grand Prix this weekend.
Okay.
Going from there.
So Nissan there in third. Subaru off again. So that's 2 times in about 5 corners. And I think we're speaking to one of the drivers now, are we?
Well, we're waiting to see if we get a camera on him.
Anyway, Mazda is still out there. They have not pitted yet. Got to say, you've got to hand it to Kato, doing a fantastic job.
Here is Wakisaka there. He's saying that you shouldn't have taken off your shoes. And again, Tsuchiya and Wakisaka is giving him the business, I think, for some of the mistakes going off there. Meanwhile, what is going on? We do have a Nissan going around still in third place. He's saying that he wanted to stop. he wasn't enjoying himself, it sounds like, what we can hear.
He said it feels very same as racing in real life, and thinks he said people very fast out there, too fast at times.
I tell you what, I'm saying that he couldn't quite build a gap, and if that's what you would call real racing, I don't want to see Wakisaka race in real life. It's a little bit scary, I think. He wasn't the cleanest driver out there, a bit aggressive, but...
I'll tell you what, Fukunaga in the Nissan doesn't look like he wants to be in the car at the moment. Every time we get a picture of him, look at him on screen. He looks absolutely terrified. You're seeing Subaru on screen at the moment. Toshi Arai having a really good time there to the right as Jimmy just pointed something out there.
That's Chris's code for I have no idea what you're pointing at. Well, and I'm saying that we still have Mazda yet to pit. Everyone else has pitted in at this point.
Yes.
So waiting for that to happen, then they'll come back into the pack. I think they're... Oh, hello. That is the Honda off.
Honda's off.
Trying to rearrange the gravel there with that big front split. Doing a very good job of it, but he's lost a couple of places now. In comes Subaru to the pits. Did he do 3 laps? I think he did just do 3 laps. Now this is going to be our first of our GT drivers getting into the car. Here we go then.
And they're going to go all that way on soft tyres, are they? So jumping in the Subaru at the moment is Miyazono, who was at Salzburg.
Very fast guy there.
Event, yeah.
Very fast guy there. And now this is what we call, this is the don't have an undercut with tyres, you're having an undercut of a better driver getting into the car.
Look at the difference straight away through turn 1, cold tyres, and makes it look terribly easy.
And I'm sure Toshi in the background there wondering, that's what I was doing, I don't understand.
Toshi Arai is all of a sudden taking a step back from the car now. Now the employee's out, he's decided to stop saying anything. It's like, yep, that's how you do it.
Right, so here we are. Here is our GT driver already bearing down on our Honda employee here. And
briefly off into the gravel
and there goes, sideways, a bit in contact, and a big round of applause there. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Yamamoto, but you have no chance against our GT player here. These guys showing just the... I always think we sometimes forget about the context of skill for these GT drivers, and now you're getting a GT driver versus someone who doesn't do this very often. It's a little bit of an unfair contest, I think.
Someone probably doesn't do this at all. Right, Subaru, they've done 2 stops. All right, now we're hearing from Tadasuke Makino. Just saying how he started with hard tyres. Subarus are off, but we'll come back to that as Makino stops to just see what's going on.
I think he's wondering if they can pick up a position here, because it looks like the Nissan had the Subaru off. I think I just caught the end of that at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Mazda in finally. This is their first stop, so they're now going to be switching over to the employee.
On the soft tyre.
On the soft tyre, which is Mr. Yuki Itagaki, I think. Sorry,
I struggled with that one as well.
We have to apologise up here in the English booth. We do try our best with some of these names.
As you said, we're just plebs.
We're just English plebs, unfortunately. We're doing our best. So they're in, Nissan in as well. I think a sigh of relief there for the Nissan employee. He wasn't really enjoying himself out there. Of course, the employee in there was our marketing and brand and media strategy division. That was Fukunaga in the car there. So now we have our pro driver and, of course, winner yesterday in the car of our age competition, Kukabun.
Now we're just hearing from Fukunaga, who's just jumped out of the car and just talking about the strategy they had before race and for the race. Oh, well, we'll come back to that because the Mazda, I think, stopped in the middle of the track and got absolutely punted by the Mitsubishi.
That's gone. That isn't coming back. What was that? Was that the Mazda?
Well, I just seemed to stop.
I was just looking at the down to the stage and came back, and there was a car that's just been ejected off the circuit.
So who went off there then? Was it the Honda who went flying off?
So, we also have Yamanaka in the Toyota now. Just to very quickly bring you up to date there. So now we have the fast guys are in the car. Now, if you are Team Mazda or if you are Team Honda, this is the time you need to think, okay, probably time to get the quick guys in. Do you notice a trend, Chris, apart from Nissan, of course? We are everyone on the softer tyre. So they're going to try and make the soft tyre go to the end and emulate Cookie Bun's strategy from yesterday, actually, at the last Group 1 race.
So we've got Toyota in 4th place there, just ahead. Yamanaka in that. Drives better than he dances, I think it's fair to say.
I think that's very fair to say. Yamanaka is a lot of things. A good dancer is not one of them, I'm afraid.
We had the after party last night, for those of you who may be a little bit confused as to what we are talking about, and interesting shapes being made back there. Jimmy decided on this occasion that he was going to keep his well and truly hidden, but
that's what you got to do.
He's tempted at times.
You've got to maintain some sort of integrity. The thing is now, these guys are bearing down on the Nissan. Nissan front now, of course, does have Cookie Bun in it as well. So right now, the gap is coming down slightly. Still wondering why we haven't seen Mazda pit in at this point, because at the moment Mazda have their employee in the car, which is Mr. Itagaki, the name we can't say very well. Sorry, that was Mitsubishi and Toyota, so now they're very close on tracks, and here we are, 3rd, 4th and 5th, all our GT drivers
right together.
And this is where the fireworks start. You see the Mitsubishi trying to take a different line there coming up to Dunlop. We're going to try and get onto the curb on the inside, run it to the outside, Toyota middling line, onto the exit, and here comes the Mitsubishi, not really an overtaking place there, has to go wide, has a look maybe at the inside. Toyota also having a look at the Nissan simultaneously, so this 3rd, 4th, 5th scrap is going to go on, I think, right till the end until there's a mistake made or someone bites first.
Well, there we can see then the Nissan just trying to close in on the Toyota, who lunges for 3rd place. And is that going to be the move complete? Yes, it is. So Team Toyota with Tomoaki Yamanaka into 3rd.
And Mitsubishi as well, losing a place to Nissan, trying to get past the Nissan car, but again, the grunt, the turbo on that thing. We actually have Florian Strauss looking over our shoulder right now. Well, he was. Oh, yeah, he's still there. Hello, Florian. And he is a factory Nissan driver, and he said to us that the Nissan's very fast in the fast stuff. So we're seeing that happen here at the moment. Let's see what sort of grunt it's got on a straight line. Mitsubishi deep in the slipstream, though, and it's being pulled away from. Here comes the Nissan on the straight line, coming up to 130R, looks to the inside, thinks better of it. So that's Kokimon there. Oh, wow! He just touched it on the way and did well to keep that all together. And here comes the Mitsubishi!
Down the inside of the Casio triangle, and the Nissan just about able to hold on, but they're still going to be side by side.
Mitsubishi takes the position, but now here comes the Nissan once more. I love the straight line speed of this thing. It's absolutely comical to watch it on the straight, because you think, oh, I finally got it done. Nissan's like, nope, and just drives straight past again.
So flashing the lights as well there, but they're going to be side by side in towards the first corner. Toyota just ahead. I have to quickly ask, now we are 2/3 of the way through the race, who's in the battle for the lead here, really? Like, you know, what is the exact battle we're watching? Is this the battle for 2nd place we're watching? Is it the battle for 3rd? It's been so hectic, it's been really hard to actually follow whereabouts the Mazda is going to come out in comparison to the Subaru and Toyota.
Well, right now the Subaru are looking good at the moment as the Mitsubishi driver looks to the inside again at the first deck. There's not really a place to overtake and has to duck back in. Might try and get something on traction coming out of the exit here, but yes, the Mazda is being just caught hand over fist. I think about 6 seconds in 2 laps. So they really need to pit in soon and get their pro driver in. Otherwise, they're going to end up probably in this scrap for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, which will be actually 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There you go. That's hard. That's some maths there from me and Chris. First successful maths of the weekend. Thank you very much. Or I guess it's week now. Looking back from the Toyota. at the Mitsubishi. You see Yamanaka there looking deep in concentration. And then Yoshida, not so much.
Yeah, I've got to say, I don't know enough credit was given to Yamanaka yesterday. He really drove a fantastic race to clinch second place in the regional finals, but he's under a little bit of pressure now from Team Mitsubishi, who are just going to look into the outside there. Shogo Yoshida, 4th place yesterday, trying to make a move. Got to say, very clean and respectable racing, and Mazda are in.
And Subaru in.
For the 3rd time, is that?
Maybe trying to make the hard tyres last, and they couldn't get it done. So here we go. This is going to be your battle for the lead, I think.
It is.
Toyota and Mitsubishi are now side by side coming down the straight. Nissan's always lurking there in the background. Yoshida with a big smile on his face. He's enjoying himself today. Of course, the watchful eye of the Mitsubishi employee standing over his shoulder. And I think we've just got, Subaru have just come out in front. That's actually not a bad idea. They've got fresh tyres now to the end, Subaru. These guys are all on the softs.
Now they can try and chase down Mazda. I mean, it'd be a huge ask, but they are going to be on fresh tyres, of course. Tyre wear is set to 8 times. So that's 8 laps. Tyre wear equals 1 lap. Now, on the game.
I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. I had no idea that a 6-car race could be so interesting. This has obviously been a great way of setting up the event today. And here comes the Mitsubishi once more. It's just a bit quicker through Dunlop, but doesn't quite have the grunt to get anywhere near for a pass at the deck now. And I think towards the end, all the cars are going to come back into play again. And to add some more excitement to the mix, these are all our GT drivers. These are some of the best drivers in the world right now. Back again, doing battle, Toyota and Mitsubishi side by side once again, but the Toyota just about pulls out a lead. And again, the Nissan lurking in the background. I think if it wasn't copyrighted, we'd have a certain shark movie theme going on.
Tell you what, it's absolutely packed in here as well. The crowd are really enjoying this one, and there go Mitsubishi down the inside for 3rd place, and the move is made. Yes, it is. And Nissan now trying to look to the inside as well. Out of spoon curve, Mitsubishi have taken 3rd.
Toyota, he's boxed in. He's boxed in behind the Mitsubishi, Chris. He can't do anything. He's having to wait. He's pushed him along, saying, "Come on, go, go, go!" And the Toyota goes round the outside, takes the place back. Oh my!
And one hand is through 130. Toyota into 3rd.
And then the Mitsubishi just defending from the Nissan there. So Nissan loses out massively. It can't do anything about that. And and the Toyota Mitsubishi in.
Well, they're both in.
Soft tyre.
I've got to say, it's quite one thing I just want to pick up on when we saw the Toyota celebrating there is that well, yesterday, throughout the weekend, they've been wearing headphones when they've been in the rigs, and we've speaking to them at the after party. They said they cannot hear the crowd. Today, they're not wearing headphones, so they can literally hear them getting cheered on every time they go for a move, and I think that's just making the racing even more entertaining.
Here it is, the Mazda, our leader right now. Someone's saying this reminds them, that was John Marine. Reminds them of an old school Gran Turismo race, 6 cars, so yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Although I'd say that the ones that I played didn't have me shouting and screaming at the screen so much. Well, maybe every now and then when I lost, but we'll try and keep old
controllers flying at the screen.
Yeah, we'll try and keep old Angry Jimmy in the past, so we'll leave him there. But at the moment, Mazda's race to lose. A lot of the guys are actually going in for another pit stop to get some more tyres. Not confident they can go to the end, of course, on those softs. Only a 4-second gap, though, between Mazda and Subaru. And given that the start of the race, where we saw Toshi Arai just absolutely drifting the Subaru through the gravel, I'm kind of surprised to see it back up there in 2nd.
The Mazda looking very, very good at the moment. We have Ryutaro Ryu, who's 17 years old and ineligible, unfortunately, to qualify for the Nations Cup, but he's the top-ranked Mazda driver, and he is, as a result, been invited to the Manufacturers Series exhibition. Gotta say, Gran Turismo do a good job at really rewarding players in the game, of course, not only with something like the FIA Championship, with something like this as well.
We're back.
Here we go,
We're
battle
back again.
for 3rd on Toyota to the outside at Casio Triangle.
Not going to quite make it round there. Line astern on the exit. Mitsubishi looking a little bit aggressive as well. Nissan will have the grunt down the straight, but it pulls in. So that was, okay. So a bad choice there, I think, for Nissan. They tried to make the tyre go a bit longer, and as a result, the other guys who did pit with their tyre just did a better job of things. And we now have Wakisaka.
Yeah.
And who is that there? Sorry, we're bad at names around here. Wakisaka, and I think that is the general manager of... Sorry, no, that's Nissan, apologies. No, that is Yanagida, sorry, yeah, both ex-Super GT 500 drivers, so they're having a bit of a chat, and I think Wakisaka there just trying to maybe distract the Nissan driver a bit, getting a little bit further into frame and saying, excuse me, can I get your attention, please, mate?
I think he wants to jump back in the rig when they were doing an extra pit stop. So,
oh, he's got his shoes on now. He races with no shoes, apparently. And,
so that's that confirmed then.
Tsuchiya was asking if we did that in the real car. Wouldn't advise it. Anyway, battle for third still raging between Toyota and Mitsubishi. Of course, this is essentially Toyota's home crowd, given that we are in the Toyota Mega Web building. There are some Toyota flags, or there were some Toyota flags flying around. They seem to have been sheathed for now, but I'm sure they'll come back out when we see some more action. Saying that, Toyota and Mitsubishi are all closing in on the front two. We only have a couple of laps left though, so it's been left a little bit late, I think, but we'll see.
I think so. We only got 2 laps left. Let's not forget these are all the GT players now in the rigs, and I think we're probably not going to have a battle on for the lead. However, there is one more space on the podium. And who's that going to be filled by? Is it going to be Toyota or is it going to be Mitsubishi? It's going to be a straight head-to-head, in my opinion. And it's going to be a fight between the Toyota with Yamanaka behind the wheel and the Mitsubishi with Yoshida behind the wheel. So 2 drivers who were pretty close yesterday as well, now going head-to-head once again. This time, though, a little bit of a less stressful situation, so let's see how that changes.
We've already seen Yamanaka go around the outside of Yoshida. It seems that every race Yamanaka is in, he gets some sort of reaction out of us, doing something ridiculous. I think that's just his driving style, a bit flamboyant, a bit of a showboater, it's what we like to see. But Yoshida now right on the back of Yamanaka, and more importantly, they are reeling in the Subaru. You can see it now visually in front. The gap has come down, so I don't think it's going to be long until that Toyota is on the rear spoiler of the Subaru, but they haven't got long to do it. We have to keep reiterating this. This is the penultimate lap, so it's half this lap and one more, and that's the end.
I'll tell you what, I'd kind of written off the chance of a battle for second happening, but you never know. If they work together, they might just be able to do it. Toshihara and the Subaru team are hoping that they don't, but Toyota doing a good job here to just pull the Mitsubishi closer to the Subaru, as we are only a lap and a half away now from seeing that checkered flag, and Mazda remains just over 3 seconds in the lead.
Oh, Nissan's back. Hello.
Nissan.
Kokibon has decided to join the party, and he is on soft tyres, the fresher tyres of the bunch, and he has come from nowhere to join this battle, and they're all closing in on second place as well.
I tell you what, I saw the Nissan team gathered round Kokibon, and they were really trying to G the crowd up just then, and I kind of put it to one side and wondered why they were doing that from 5th, but
here
this is why, because we're on board with Kokibon now for Nissan. He's looking right, he's looking left. Can he find a space on the inside of 130R? Surely that's not possible. And he backs off for now, but he's still going to have one more lap to do this.
We have 1 lap of amazing racing about to come your way. Do not turn off the stream. Get comfy. Here we go then, coming on to the final lap of this Manufacturers Series exhibition event. We have 4 cars in your picture. Subaru, Toyota, Mitsubishi on board with the Nissan. Here comes the front of the Nissan, goes down to the inside of Yoshida. Kokibon, our Asia Oceania winner from yesterday, not quite close enough at T1. Look how close the Subaru is now, Chris. They're all gaining.
It's only 1 second. The gap was 2.4 last time, so by that maths, they're going to quite comfortably catch him. The Mitsubishi just getting a little bit out of shape there through the S's. Toyota still feeling the pressure in 3rd, I think, but the gap coming down to Subaru with every corner. It's all going to come down to 130R.
Oh, the Nissan!
We can be 3 wide by the time we get to there, but the Nissan's got the run through Dunlop curve, and it's going to make the move into 4th place. Brilliant move. Now one step away from the podium.
The Subaru is really, really struggling. You can see now how they're all very close together. Even the Mazda's coming back into frame. Those hard tyres in the Mazda are starting to wear. Here we go, top 5 all in the same picture. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Even the Honda's coming back into contention in the background. Nissan very sideways out of the hairpin, just about manages to keep it under wraps. And the Mazda there, that Nissan is now going to use that straight line speed to pull up to the back of the Toyota driver and try and maybe put a move into the spoon curve. Let's see what he does here.
Here we go then, in towards spoon curve for the final time. 130R, who's going to make it there first? That's what it's going to come down to. And then we've got the Casio triangle, and I'm worried if they're even all going to make it through there in one piece. Look at the Nissan ahead of us. He's going to try for the outside, is he, as they make their run down towards 130R for the final time. And we are on board with 5th place, the Mitsubishi. The Subaru has run
he's wide! He's wide, Chris! And the Honda!
This has gone crazy.
It's a traffic jam.
To the inside. Subaru is holding everyone up. He's become a roadblock.
There's contact. He's become away.
Oh no!
The Toyota is round. Mazda wins.
Front win.
Subaru second. Nissan third. Honda fourth. Mitsubishi fifth. And look at Yamanaka. He is not happy. Oh, what a finish!
Yamanaka. Oh my goodness. I don't think we're going to be able to get him out that rig for a while. He's just getting a pat on the back at the moment, but he is not happy at all.
Oh my. I mean, I think we can agree that is one of the most exciting races of this weekend, and it only has 6 cars in it, Chris.
In what should have been one of the most dull races, really, it turned out to be one of the best. Fantastic stuff. Mazda from the very back of the field takes the race win with the young 17-year-old behind the wheel at the end. Let's look out for him in the FIA Championship next year.
Tell you what, Chris, I got a massive smile on my face. That was absolutely fantastic to watch, and I love this job being up here as a commentator and getting to watch stuff like that. It's very, very special. You can see Team Mazda there celebrating in the bottom left-hand corner. And there is just some clarification and just some confirmation, I should say, of the times there. Honda there for 152.5. That's very quick. I think there might be some track extending there. But Mazda, Subaru, Nissan, Honda, Mitsubishi and Toyota, who were ejected from the track right at the end of the race.
I think Tsuchiya, well, goodness knows what he made of the end in there, but I'm sure we're going to hear from him very shortly. We are going to have our podium celebration. Here is Yamanouchi-san, who's just come on to stage now. He'll present trophies to the top 3 teams. So
the bottom 3 teams have been dishonorably discharged.
Here are the personalities that we had racing just before this to get the crowd warmed up.
Now, I only know one of the guys here. It's the guy just to the right of Yamauchi there. I turned on the TV in the hotel and his face was there, and I was very surprised to see him here today. I'm not quite sure.
He's following you.
Yeah, in some form. So we have Mr. Yamauchi on stage right now. Just again saying how great it is to have, we have drivers, we have people who are part of these companies, these manufacturers coming in, and of course our GT drivers all together and all putting on a fantastic show.
I'll tell you what, that was such a successful race, wasn't it? Really, the way they put that race together, I think they'd come up with the perfect format to make a brilliant race. Putting in pro drivers, employees, GT drivers, going in that order. It had everything at the start. It had the pro drivers going head to head. Then we threw the employees in, and that threw in a real mix. And then we had our GT players right at the end, and it all gathered up with different strategies being played out. Some went for 3 stops, some went for 4 stops, and by the end all 6 teams were pretty much on the straight at the same time.
So Masahashi Oguro here saying that it's watching the racing, the excitement he felt is the same excitement he felt watching real racing. Of course, I think you can probably agree with that, Chris. As you said, we've both seen our fair share of racing, and we're sitting up here cheering as the guys coming across the line. Absolutely insane stuff.
Fantastic stuff there. And they were just hearing now that some of the presenters there couldn't really understand what was going on in the middle of part of the race with the format. Hopefully, myself and Jimmy were able to just help you along with that bit a little bit, but even we were a little bit unaware at times as to these strategies. But there is confirmation of your result. The Mazda team taking the wing with Takaki, Kato and Ryu. And we have the Subaru, Toshi Arai, Mori and Miyazono. And the Nissan team third. Kokubun, of course, winner yesterday. Yanajida and Fukunaga. They just picking up third at the end.
Not bad there for Mr. Ryu, given that he wasn't allowed to compete here today as a 17-year-old, wasn't quite old enough to be around to be in the official FIA series. But I think very promising indeed. And now we have some very nice little trophies to hand out to the guys.
Yep, so the trophies are going to be presented, starting with our third place team. And then we'll move on to our second place team. So there is third place, Nissan. The lineup for that, Masakata, Yanajida, Yusuke Fukunaga and Ryoto Kokubun, who won the Asia Oceania regional final yesterday. And now we'll gather for the pictures. Brilliant race at the end there for them just to pick up third. And what a last corner. We'll have to talk a little bit more about that in a second if we get the time to. But first of all, our trophy for second place will now be awarded. Team Subaru, Toshi Arai, Hiroshi Mori and Takuma Miyazono. And there you can see Team Subaru now, who finished second place here at the Manufacturer Series exhibition here in Tokyo in Japan at the Toyota MegaWeb studio. Toshi Arai in the middle there, who started the race, and to the left finishing the race there we had Miyazono. Hiroshi Mori took the middle stint to the right in the blue t-shirt. And finally, your winners today, Team Mazda. We have Teruyaki Kato, Yuki Itakagi, and then, of course, finishing the race, Sutaro Ryu. Team Mazda, and the trophy presented by Mr. Kazunori Yamauchi.
There is a man who can dance.
As proven last night.
Last night. But again, we won't go into that too much.
No.
But
I do want to be back here next year. So.
I tell you what, though, just very quickly, we got to go to the PDI offices yesterday, and you see on the walls there every bit of GT media there, and you see how far it's come, and you come to an event like this, and it's actually quite emotional, I think.
It is. Very, very impressive stuff, and you really do appreciate the amount of work and thought and constant effort that's gone in to just facilitate you guys being able to play the game and enjoy the game as well. But I think now we're going to hear from our winning team.
MC just congratulating the team. Just waiting to get a little bit of translation there, waiting for that in our ear. But I think just reiterating that it was nice to be on this stage and enjoying actually winning as well. Everyone likes to win, don't they? Of course, the fellow on the mic now has driven in the 24 of Nürburgring in a Mazda, so good to be here and doing proud as well.
I was talking about the start there, but he had such a good start. He got into fourth, 6th to 4th in the first corner, going 3 wide into the first turn. And now we hear from the young 17-year-old Sutaro Ryu. He was very happy he's able to be on this stage and win this race. Drove a very good stint, got in the car early, but that was their strategy, and he was glad he was able to hold on to the end. Now we hear the representative from Mazda, Yuki Itakagi. Just saying when he jumped in the car, he of course was in top position, so he couldn't afford to spin, but very happy that he was able to hold on despite being so nervous that he was feeling the pressure, that's for sure, with people around him taking spins. But I think that was really what it came down to. We said this pre-race off air, who's going to spin the least.
Yeah.
And that's what it came down to ultimately.
It seems to have gone that way. Big round of applause here from our live audience. It's been pretty much the same amount of people here the entire time. It's kind of hard to show you guys, but we don't have a big area in here, and I can't really see the floor.
No. There's a rave going on in here, let's just say that.
There's a rave afterwards, whether you like it or not.
There's a view then of our top 3 teams. And what an event it's been. All we can say is thank you very much for joining us. Our MC there now just directing the top 3 teams to leave the stage. Kusuke Hirayama. This has been then the Gran Turismo Manufacturers Series exhibition. It's been fantastic. I think we're going to hear from Tsuchiya now.
Been here over the 3-day event and what he's been enjoying. He's saying that until yesterday that all Kazunori, Yama and Tsuchiya would make jokes about this kind of event, and now we're here, of course, he's feeling a little bit different. He's feeling that it's gone very well and been very successful, especially when referring to the GT drivers the Super GT drivers being here and seeing those guys fight. I think he just enjoyed having a little bit of banter with Wagisaka earlier as well.
Yeah.
A man that enjoys a little bit of a joke is Tsuchiya, and he definitely had that today.
And now we hear from Yamauchi-san, who just talking about definitely doing, looking forward to doing future events. Now we hear from Japanese commentator Yama-san, and he talking about just how high their level of competition has been over the regional final, and how deciding the winner of that event was seriously tough. But this definitely a change of atmosphere, and everyone's smiling today and having really good fun while racing in the rigs, and it was brilliant to see.
Just being compared to the racers and how fast they are, and you would be surprised how fast some of the GT racers are compared to even the real life drivers.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw that as well today. We always see that the race became a lot more organised and a lot more clean once the GT racers got back in.
Except for the last corner.
Yeah, except the last corner, which was a bit of a no. That was a battle royale. I think we lived up to our title there. But just the commentator just reaffirming that we really didn't know who the winner would be, and I mean, we can probably give you our own insight on that, I think, because they're just rounding up now the event. Let's talk about that last corner, Chris, shall we? Let's talk about that, because we got a bit of a change in camera angle, and when I came back, I saw the Toyota just not on the circuit anymore, and Yamanaka's face, I mean, he's been laughing and cheering all weekend, and he looked like he was about to get up and throw his shoes at someone.
His new Puma boots given to him, as all the drivers get. He looked very... they were scared to, I think, actually pat him on the back. They thought Yamanaka was going to go...
He might bite or something,
but it was that change of camera angle. As soon as it changed and we saw the camera angle higher up, it seemed like we missed a lap or something, because we had cars going sideways. Nissan seemed to have placed themselves perfectly, but we had the Subaru was just a rolling roadblock, wasn't it?
Well, it just stopped.
It essentially just stopped, yeah.
And none of the cars really had anywhere to go, and so and
I think
4 into 1 didn't really go, did it?
And I think the Toyota, wasn't it, got caught on the outside and just got run wide essentially. And then
I think it got a little bit of obviously got help. I think it might have been on Nissan who came third. It might have Kokubun there, might have given a little bit of a push off, and that's why we saw Yamanaka in a little bit of a bad mood afterwards, because especially when it's another GT driver, you think, oh, you should be doing better than that. But of course, to reiterate, This was just a fun event for the manufacturers here, and most importantly for the crowd, who seem to very much enjoy it, and for you guys there at home sitting and watching this stream. A big thank you for turning out today. So I appreciate this is quite early in the morning for some of you guys over in the European regions. Of course, not all of you are from there, but I recognise a couple of names in chat, especially our very old TRL Lightning in chat as well, who I'm sure is not looking forward to racing these guys at the World Finals, given how much of a show they've put on here today. Yeah. Watch out the last corner of Suzuka, Mick. They might have something to say to you. So our MC now just rounding out things, just saying he hope everyone enjoyed the experience, and that we hope that the crowd here were having a great time, and they definitely seem to have done so. And that's it from our MC. Big round of applause there from our guys on the floor.
I think that's it from us as well, isn't it? From myself, Chris McCarthy and Jimmy Broadbent, streaming from you live here in Tokyo in Japan. This has been the Gran Turismo Manufacturer Series exhibition. Thank you very much for tuning in. We hope to see you back tuning in for the next Nations Cup regional finals. I'll leave it to Jimmy to close it off.
So that's it, guys. Thank you so much all for being here. Just to reaffirm that, it's been great to commentate alongside Chris. We've got one more event tomorrow, I think. I'm not sure if that's live or not. If it is, we'll let you know.
It's Wednesday.
Oh, on Wednesday, sorry. I forget that days pass differently. Sometimes we have breaks. Our MCs and our commentators are leaving the stage now for the last time, and we'll leave you there, guys. If you've enjoyed these events, make sure to leave a subscription on the Gran Turismo YouTube channel, because that way you'll be made notified of whenever some new contents go up. Hit like on the stream if you liked it, hit dislike if you disliked it, let us know what we can do better. And from me, Jimmy Broadbent and Chris McCarthy, it's goodbye from Tokyo, Japan.